Dear viewers, due to continuous rise in the number of COVID cases and the fears of a new wave, we are forced to switch the program to voice-over mode for a few days. As soon as the situation gets back to normal, we'll be back with the original format of the program. Thank you for your cooperation. Hello and welcome to another episode of the new series. Today we are going to discuss about what the budget is saying on cryptocurrencies and virtual currencies. So these are the various segments that we are going to cover. Keep in mind, you have to know about the facts for preliminary examination and from the perspective of GS Mains paper 3, it's very important. So cryptocurrencies can span across the economy, it can span across your paper for internal security. So be very careful with respect to getting those facts in your mind. So the news will be basically on two things. First, the taxation of 30% on cryptocurrency and the RBI, which is set to have its own digital currency. We are going to talk about that. So important decisions first. Let's have a look. The government has proposed to issue a digital rupee or central bank digital currency in the fiscal year 22-23. Additionally, the budget also proposed imposing a tax of 30% on virtual assets. Now, very importantly, it is a virtual asset. Categorizing cryptocurrencies on virtual assets, the government has shown that it is not going to ban cryptocurrencies, effectively legitimizing trading of private cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens. Basically, cryptocurrency is a digital payment system and that does not rely on banks to verify transaction. It works on blockchain technology, and because it doesn't have to rely on a central bank, it is very prone to fluctuation. It is a peer-to-peer system that can enable anyone, anywhere to send and receive payments. Now, cryptocurrencies, because they are not backed by any governmental legality. So what happens? There is a lot of investment bubble that can be created in cryptocurrencies. It can tumble, it can just surge up. So there is a lot of fluctuation which lacks accountability. So one thing that we have already said, if you cannot ban something, if there is no scope of banning, we can always regulate it. SC Garg committee was recommending certain very relevant things with respect to cryptocurrency, and that is why we took the cognizance of providing about the recommendation in this segment. The committee was set up by the Centre. It has also proposed a draft bill banning of cryptocurrency and regulation of official digital currency bill 2019. When it submitted its report, it said 3 different laws around 3 big cases of crypto technology should be there. First, digital currencies, crypto businesses, and crypto assets. So, a digital rupee should be there or a digital currency law should be there. Also, to regulate crypto businesses in the country, such as crypto exchanges and other, should also be there. And crypto assets should be highly regulated. This was the recommendation. And taxation, with respect to taxation, the 30% taxation, virtual digital assets have gained actually tremendous popularity. That is why it was needed. And the volumes of trading in such digital assets has increased substantially. Although we read about how IMF has cautioned El Salvador about bitcoins when it legally took the cognizance of Bitcoin as a legal tender. So something that we should be very careful about such developments around the globe in context to India. Further, a market is emerging where payment for the transfer of a virtual digital asset can be made through another asset. And a new scheme to provide for taxation of such virtual digital assets has been proposed by the bill. It specifically defines virtual digital asset and also includes non-fungible tokens. Indian investors have put around rupees 45,000 crore in private cryptocurrency. So in order to take care of the investment, because the volume of investment is so huge, the government had to tax it. For central bank digital currency, we can see that the virtual or electronic form of fiat currencies are known as central bank digital currency. It is basically a legal tender issued by the central bank in digital form. It is the same as fiat currency and is exchangeable one-to-one with the fiat currency. That means the government, because of the faith in the government's capability of having a digital currency, CBDC is a much more or a better concept for investment if we compare it to Bitcoin right now. Only its form is different. Other central banks such as US Federal and People's Bank of China are also planning to have their own digital currencies.
If we talk about CBDC, central bank digital currency, and virtual currencies, the main points of difference: private virtual currencies, they sit at substantial odds to the historical concept of money. Of course, money, what is money? It is universally acceptable. It has legal backing in the form of gold or any other asset. And because of the faith itself, it is going to work. Suppose we are talking about the 500 notes which were demonetized by the government. When the government said that it will not be accepted as a unit of store of value, that means it will not be accepted as money, what will be the conclusion? That means the conclusion will be that it is useless now. So if it's not universally acceptable, if it does not have the governmental backing, it's of course not a money. So they are not commodities or claims on commodities, as they have no intrinsic value. Some claims that they are akin to gold clearly seem opportunistic, very opportunistic. They do not represent any person's debt or liabilities. There is no issuer. They are not money, as the words have come to be understood historically. So if we tax virtual currencies, the finance minister has said that the 30% tax on virtual assets cannot be mentioned as a replacement of any other income, meaning it cannot be claimed for deduction. In addition to a 1% tax deduction at source that will be charged on payments made using digital assets in order to keep a track on transactions. So money laundering, terror financing, all these will be addressed. The imposition of a tax on these instruments is also an indication from the government on implementing its stated plan of recognizing them as assets and not currencies. The move should not be seen as the government legalizing or recognizing virtual and cryptocurrency, which was actually talked a lot about. With respect to central bank digital currency, the introduction of a digital currency by the central bank will lead to cheaper and faster currency management. There are several models proposed by technology experts and evangelists on how the digital rupee could be transacted, but a formal announcement by Reserve Bank of India will likely detail how digital rupee will be transacted by the citizens. One chief difference will be that digital rupee transaction will be instantaneous as opposed to the current digital transaction. Now, there is a conclusion which is pretty something you can say it's a food for thought. The steep tax rate on crypto could dissuade traders that have been soaring in India, despite the central bank's warning about the risks of money laundering, terrorist financing, and price volatility. The government is actually working on a legislation to regulate cryptocurrency, and the proposed law will have to be cleared by India's cabinet before being taken to lawmakers. Okay? So the question is, with respect to the future of virtual currencies in India, comment on the decisions made in the regard in the budget of 22-23. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.